All right, let's look at now this next segment we're in. We're dating back to the late 20th century. Spoken word poetry, unlike other forms of poetry, has been a unique form of poetry that allows one to tell a story through poetry and performance. Most of the time, spoken word poets convey controversial, strong, and important messages through word of mouth. Now, today on the show, we have joining us an amazing spoken word poet, Ibrahim Abu, aka IB. Welcome to Breakfast Central, IB.
Welcome.
Welcome. How have you been?
Fine.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start from you taking us down your journey. I mean, telling us how you started spoken word poetry. I know, I'm guessing you probably started when you were a little child. You know, let's walk with you down in the story.
Okay, so I've been writing since I was 9, but performing poetry at large just started in 2015 on stage for me.
2015, that's when, but you've been writing since you were 9.
Yeah.
Now, looking at writing. Now, writing has different stages. You know, there's some people who end up writing and they end up becoming script writers. There are some people who end up writing and they write songs for artists. There are some people who end up writing and they write stage plays. But your own writing led you to spoken words. I mean, at what point, what junction in your life did you realize that that was the path to take?
Okay, so let me put it out there. I do other forms of writing. So I write scripts, I write copies and all of that, but poetry is like my passion. Yeah, so I've been writing like page poetry for a while, since maybe 12, but I've been performing poetry on stage since 2015. 2015. Yeah, so.
All right, so I mean that's fantastic because I need to applaud people in your sector because it's not an easy, it's intellectual. It's not as easy as just putting wood together and getting nails and hitting it up. Now, but you know, there's this popular belief that spoken word artists, they do not get enough widespread recognition. They're not recognized as they ought to. I mean, and you as an African spoken word artist or a spoken word poetry artist, quote unquote, yes. What would you make of this? Is this really true?
I feel like it's partially true. Okay, we have the response, the stage is now getting broader for us, even if before it wasn't. So I have like, we can see poetry in everything, virtually everything. Brands use poetry right now. And so it's getting bigger. So I'm looking on the brighter side, not on the side that we don't get enough recognition. Okay,
talking about your performance now, can you tell us what the audience reaction is like after each performance? And let us know what your best outing has been so far.
My best outing, wow. Okay, for me, I feel like the essence of art is to transform society and life in general. So my best outing would be in SIO. That SIO is an event I organized, by the way. It's like the biggest spoken word concert in Nigeria. So SIO 2017, after we were done, someone told me, like about 4 persons told me they were not going to commit abortion. So I think that's it for me.
After your performance?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I performed the poem titled Unveil.
And what was the poem about, Unveil? Was it?
It was a story about a girl that was raped. Yeah, and the raped by her uncle, and they raped our uncle and his son in the space of 48 hours, and it led to a pregnancy. True life story.
I mean, that would have inspired a lot of people. And I'm glad we have people like you in our society nowadays. I mean, because we're in a century, we're in a day and age where your kind of work is being recognized and it's being appreciated, and it's touching lives of people real time. Now, when we're talking about spoken word poets, a lot of them, the popular ones, quite a number of them, are known for certain specific theme in their work. You know, they have something about them that anybody who walks by or who hears it will know, oh, this is from you, this is from IB. Do you have any specifics in terms of the work you do in the theme?
I just do socially conscious poems, actually.
Socially conscious poems. Now let us know some of the challenges, I mean the major challenges you've had to face in this career you've chosen.
The cost of creating content.
Content, yeah?
Yeah, the cost of creating content, it's actually very, very high.
Like, very high.
Yeah.
How have you been able to manage it?
Passion has been putting me through.
Passion.
I guess. Yeah, because yes, like I said, so other forms of writing I put my money into poetry.
All right, thank you so much for joining Breakfast Central, IB.
Daddy said that his dad was very skilled at making mortars, No wonder the only gift his pistol-like fist graciously gave were poundings on the skins of his offspring. He said that the tongue of his generation was voiceless. They weren't flesh to old conversations. They only dwelled in their mouth for rehearsed accurate responses that has been beaten into their subconscious. Yes, sir. No, sir. Okay, sir. Can I go now, sir? He once spoke of his early days as military drills. Said his dad was as hard as a brick, no emotions attached. So he treated his family like they were friends with benefits. Said his dad always carried with him this graveyard because his very presence birthed deafening silence. Said polygamy was the hall his father slept with openly, so they grew up in this barrack of a household with platoons constantly at war. Said it was tough, being raised in a broken home with very strong foundations. Daddy said he once told me that his dad wasn't a god. He once told me that his dad wasn't a man, he was a god, an idol, a mystery he couldn't decipher. His words were eternal, his meals were served like sacrifices. They prayed, he accepted. His drinks were poured like libation. Daddy said that it took him almost 4 decades to get a mental sketch of the man he called father, for they were always told to bow in his presence like he was God, and they were freaking Moseses. So Daddy picked up the rubbles of a broken childhood and built himself into an emotionless wall, standing tall with no cracks to pick through. Daddy is still a boy, still learning to hold conversation. Daddy is still a teenager, still learning to express his emotions. He still responds in shy silences whenever I tell him I love him. He blushes. Daddy is still human, still learning to understand that it's okay for men to cry. Daddy said that his dad was very skilled at making mortars. No wonder the only gift his pistol-like fist graciously gave